Hello, Sneak Peeps! Valentine's Day is right around the corner, and just for you, we have a rom-com game show and segment.
And let's not forget about South by Southwest coming up. We have the big, sick red carpet just for you.
Along with a few underdogs that have been surprising us lately, we have a Del Toro profile and a Cloverfield review.
Let's roll it. What's up, guys? We're back with another episode of Sneak Peek.
We are so excited to share this week's entertainment news with you, and trust me, we've got a lot of it.
We sure do. After months and months of silence on the pregnancy rumors, Kylie Jenner has finally given us an answer.
She posted an Instagram apologizing for keeping her pregnancy experience private, but she said she did it because she knew the baby would feel every bit of stress if she did.
That's right, Kylie was pregnant with boyfriend Travis Scott's child, and she already had the baby. The 20-year-old gave birth to her beautiful baby girl on February 1st.
She then released an 11-minute video looking into their lives through the past 9 months. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Grab some Kleenex though. Kylie and Travis seem happier than ever with their supportive families behind them.
And right away, fans started guessing what the baby's name would be. Many thought it would be Butterfly or Mariposa because of Kylie and Travis's matching butterfly tattoos and Travis Scott's hit song Butterfly Effect. They also wondered if it would get the famous Jenner last name.
To everyone's surprise, Kylie didn't make us wait long to share the first picture and name of her baby girl, Stormy Webster, with Webster being her father's real last name. We are so happy for Kylie and Travis.
We are mentally preparing for the next generation of the Kardashians. This news means Kim, Kylie, and Khloe have newborn babies only weeks apart. Keeping up with the Kardashian toddler spinoff?
Probably not.
Oh.
Unfortunately, the celebrity world hasn't been all good news. Uma Thurman finally came forward discussing her experience being assaulted by Harvey Weinstein. She said she waited until she was less angry about the whole scenario to publicly discuss it.
She also came forward about her experiences on set with Quentin Tarantino. In Kill Bill, there's a scene where Thurman drives a blue convertible. However, the convertible had been reconfigured, and a Teamster worried that it was unsafe to drive.
Thurman said Tarantino pressured her to do the stunt, saying something similar to, and I quote, "Hit 40 miles an hour or your hair won't blow the right way and I'll make you do it again."
Tarantino has since apologized and gave Thurman footage of the event, even when, as Thurman notes, it was definitely going to affect his reputation and career. A gesture that alleviated some of the tension between the two.
To get the full story, check out the heartbreaking New York Times op-ed.
Moving forward to more positive news, fans of the Spice Girls are getting what they want, what they really, really want.
That's right, the Spice Girls are reportedly planning a reunion tour.
A representative of the group mentioned that they are exploring new opportunities to reinforce their message of female empowerment. Initially, all of the group but Victoria Beckham were prepared for a tour, but it wasn't until the Me Too and Time's Up movements that Posh Spice was finally sold on the plan.
Unfortunately, they've said we won't be getting any new music, but I'm still excited to see the group bring their well-needed girl power message to a new generation. Hey, what will you be doing this Valentine's Day?
I'm definitely going to be catching up on some rom-coms.
You can never go wrong with the classics.
Whether you prefer classics or the newer rom-coms, we have Blake, Shelby, and Dakota to put our rom-com knowledge to the test.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Face Off. Today, we're going Valentine's Day themed. Love is in the air, and so is the animosity between these two competitors. I'm your host, Blake Boserman. Let's go through the contestants today. Just need you to tell me your name, and because it's Valentine's Day, what movie or film, or same thing, TV character you want to have as your Valentine?
I'm Shelby and Voldemort.
Voldemort. Oh, okay. I mean, he knows the truth. Anyway, how about you?
My name is Dakota, and my pick would be Emma Stone's character from Zombieland.
Okay. And do you know what her name was?
Wichita.
Yes, all right, there we go.
There you go.
And like I said, I'm Blake Boserman, and I would pick Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So the game today that we have today is very simple. A lot of great movie and TV show couples out there have symbols associated with them. And we got these symbols here today. I'm going to hold up the symbol and see if y'all can figure out who the couple is based on that. Do best of 5. Does that work for y'all?
Yeah.
Alrighty, let's give it a go. Number 1, we have a teapot. And this is not the Teapot Dome scandal of 1921. We're not talking about that.
I got nothing.
Okay, what do you think?
The Office? Jim and Pam?
Yes, Jim and Pam from The Office. That is correct.
Sweet.
All right, now round 2, we have a lobster.
The Lobster.
Yes, specifically the lobster. No, not the movie The Lobster, unfortunately.
Ross and Rachel from Friends?
Ross and
maybe?
Rachel from Friends. That is correct.
Hey.
Good guess. Alrighty. Number 3, we have a flying car. Now this is not Doc Brown and Marty McFly. So who else could it be?
I got nothing. Rom-com, flying car, that's
Yeah, I
over
don't
my head.
know.
All right. Well, it is actually Danny and Sandy from the movie Grease. You know, at the end when the car flies, like "We go together like lemon, lemon, lemon."
Never seen
All right.
Grease.
All right. Well, I'll
Sorry.
sing the whole song for you later. It's all good. All right. Next
Maybe
round.
Not. Maybe not.
All right. Fair enough. I get that a lot. Anyway, next we have a locket and a boat.
Definitely Titanic.
Titanic. That is correct. And who was it?
Rose and Jack.
Rose and Jack. That is correct. However, I would have to say that the ship has sailed for their relationship. What did you say? So yeah. There you go. I'm sorry, I had to. And also, by the way, they could both have fit on that thing. I'm telling you right now, they could have
The
both.
door?
survived.
For sure.
Yes, the door. They could have both lived. But that's beside the point. All right. Anyway, last one we have is a notebook and the rain.
That's clearly The Notebook.
Oh yes, who from the Notebook?
Noah and Allie.
Noah and Allie from the Notebook. That is correct. Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams, right?
Oh, yes.
Yes, all right. The original mean girl herself, Rachel McAdams. All right, so with 3 points, Shelby is our winner today. You get, as your prize, some nice Valentine's Day
Sweet.
candy. And Dakota, as your second prize, you get this loose DVD copy of Valentine's Day that I bought from a closing down Blockbuster. So there you go.
Oh my God.
Yes, it's got both Taylors, Lautner, and Swift. It is a fun romp for some of the family.
My Valentine's Day dreams have come true.
I'm happy for you, buddy. Anyway, thank you so much for coming out today. I hope y'all had fun. As always, I'm Blake Boserman, and this has been Face Off, and now we're going to head to a commercial.
Talking about the classics, we have Audrey and Madeline telling us about the evolution of rom-coms.
And on with the romance.
Hello, Sneak Peekers. Valentine's Day falls on the 14th this year, making it less than a week away. Movies are always such a great way to get into the holidays, so we took it upon ourselves to find the best rom-coms to watch before the big day. Now, we're aware that rom-coms are a lot like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. So, in the spirit of St. Valentine, we thought we would give you guys some of our favorites reaching out the past 4 decades. Besides the big hair and blinding neon colors, the best thing about the 80s was When Harry Met Sally. Not only is it my favorite rom-com, but it's one of my favorite movies in general. The movie is built around the central debate, can men and women truly just be friends? The high-maintenance, sheltered Sally Albright, played by Meg Ryan, argues that men and women can be friends, but her equally stubborn opponent, Harry Burns, played by Billy Crystal, thinks just the opposite. If I say any more, I run the risk of spoiling it, so make sure to watch it for yourself and find out who's right. The 90s took the rom-com trend by storm. The chick flick genre gained a cult following, so listing every movie worth mentioning seems impossible. Pretty Woman, Sleepless in Seattle, Clueless, and 10 Things I Hate About You are perfect films to watch if you're looking for even more unrealistic, perfect relationship standards. All of the films touch on a different take of the rom-com, and it's a great way to see the drastic 10-year evolution of this genre.
The early 2000s also had their fair share of awesome rom-coms. I would say The Proposal, Miss Congeniality, and Love Actually are a few of my personal favorites. The first two, starring Sandra Bullock, incorporate elements of female power and independence while still being undeniably adorable. The latter is a widespread favorite revolving around many different love stories that relate to each other in the end. This is one of my all-time favorite movies, regardless of genre. From the movies made in the later 2000s, Me Before You and Crazy Stupid Love take the top of my list. Me Before You, a heartbreaking, beautiful film about the difficulties surrounding mental illness, left me crying in the theater half an hour after it ended. Crazy Stupid Love, on the other hand, is like Love Actually in the way it incorporates many different stories. It has a star-studded cast, including Steve Carell, Emma Stone, and the rom-com king, Ryan Gosling. Gosh, this conversation makes me want to go home and watch every single one. What about you?
Trust me, I was already planning on it.
Well, we better go then so we can have time to fit in all these movies tonight. Hope y'all eat your weight in chocolate this Valentine's Day. Thanks for watching. Back to the hosts.
Up next, we have the Big Sig South by Southwest carpet.
What's up, sneak peekers? We're here at South by Southwest 2017 on the red carpet of The Big Sick. It'll hit theaters this summer, June 23rd. Check it out. What was the impetus for you guys finally going on this journey and writing this screenplay together?
I was like, at some point, I would love to tell the story. Emily wasn't as sure in the beginning. It took a little bit longer for Emily to want to do it.
I needed time. It's been 10 years since the
Yeah,
events
so now
that
it's been
happened
10
in the
years, so
episode.
we wanted enough time to go by that we had some perspective on it, but not so much time that you couldn't like feel those
So
feelings
act
still. So you gotta like sort of wait for that window when it's right, and I think we really got it at the right time where it was processed enough, but unprocessed enough.
Emily, you've been writing in television for a while, but this is your first kind of foray into film. How has that been for you?
It's great. It's actually really cool to tell a story that's like one discrete story rather than like, and then what'll happen next week? Where are they going to be next week? What lessons will they keep learning? Like, the people in this movie learn the lessons they learn in this 2-hour span, and that's it.
And then they're done.
And that's kind of lovely.
Did you always see yourself as playing the lead role, and did that impact your writing? And for you, is it strange to kind of see someone else portraying what is supposed to be you?
Yeah, I mean, I always wanted to play myself.
I don't think
sort
you
of
made this without.
Yeah, I wanted to like write it, and I was always like, I would love to be this. Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, it was a little weird at first. Watching the audition tapes were a little strange. And then after that happened, I was like, I'll get comfortable with this, I'm good. And the woman that plays me, Zoe, is so fantastic. She does such a great job in the role, and she's such a lovely human being. It could have been way weirder, and it wasn't.
What's one piece of advice you have for student filmmakers or writers or producers?
I think my advice is you just have to do it. Like, you don't have to like put pressure on yourself for it to be good or anything. Just like do it, because the fear of making something bad can be debilitating, and I think you just kind of have to you just have to push through that fear and just do it.
What was it specifically about the story that you thought made it deserve to be told right now?
This kind of story takes place at any point. I mean, William Shakespeare wrote Romeo and Juliet, and in a way, that story continues to this day and will continue for a very long time, where people want and need their family to approve of who they're going to spend the rest of their life with and who's going to join their family. And at times, for reasons that are really good reasons, that can be immensely challenging for the parents, for the lovers, and this is just one of those stories.
Are there any highlights of the movie, without giving anything away, that you would point to that are maybe your favorite parts?
One is, you can't believe that this guy, Kumail from Silicon Valley, gives this performance in this movie. It's such like a award level performance. It's kind of like, whoa, I didn't see that coming. Number two is the birth of a female movie star, Zoe Kazan, because we've seen her as like an indie darling and a supporting actress, and she just emerges as a star in this movie in a way that I think people will be surprised by. Three, I think that most people will agree after seeing the film, this is the greatest Ray Romano performance of all time, and I think that's exciting because everybody loves Ray Romano. And then fourth, and certainly not least, like I haven't seen Holly Hunter be this good in a long time, and I think that it's because the roles aren't good enough for her. She's a tremendously funny, powerful, deep actress, and I think it's hard to come up with scripts like Broadcast News that really can speak to everything she has to offer, and I'm very proud that I think we came up with one, and she gets to lay it all out there, and it's fun to watch.
We have a short commercial break, but we'll be right back with some more sneak peek.
Welcome back. Next up, we have Allison with the rising star of Del Toro.
When the 2018 Academy Award nominations were announced last month, I was knocked out by the Best Director category. Comprised of well-known masters like Paul Thomas Anderson, Guillermo Del Toro, and Christopher Nolan, as well as the fresh new voices of Greta Gerwig and Jordan Peele, the category could not be more chock full of talent, nor the race harder to call. Yet one director appears to be taking the lead. The Shape of Water writer-director Guillermo Del Toro has swept several of the season's top prizes so far, having been honored by the Golden Globes, the Critics' Choice, and most recently by his peers in the DGA. As one of his biggest cheerleaders, I wanted to share some background on the director and how his acclaimed fairy tale love story came to be. Del Toro is a Mexican filmmaker known for his highly visual storytelling and penchant for fantastical narratives. Educated as a special effects and makeup artist for film and television, Del Toro began his career as a feature screenwriter and director with Cronos in 1993. His work history has been diverse, having collaborated with companies in Hollywood and Mexico, written stories in both English and Spanish, retold fairy tales as well as comic book narratives, and produced a live-action horror series as well as an animated family show on Netflix. In short, he can do anything. It's no secret that Del Toro owns an entire Victorian-style mansion in addition to his family home, filled with his vast collection of movie memorabilia. He has even allowed his personal collection to travel around the country for a few years, starting off at the LA County Museum of Art. Del Toro's influences include classic horror movies such as those of Hammer Films or Universal's original monster franchise. He's an avid reader of Gothic fiction, with Jane Eyre and Frankenstein being a few of his greatest inspirations, as well as Mexican folklore and his family's own ghost stories. I recommend checking out Del Toro's incredibly curated Twitter account, where the director often imparts some of his exhaustive knowledge of art and cinema history. Often pigeonholed as a genre filmmaker, Del Toro is known for his bloody action flicks like Blade 2, as well as his nightmarish fairy tales like The Devil's Backbone. But these labels don't do justice to the level of heart in each of his stories. Behind the monster makeup, Del Toro has a lot to say about spirituality, love, and, dare I say, the human condition. When describing his newest film, the director declared, "Fairy tales were born in times of trouble and complicated times when hope felt lost," and in the same statement identified The Shape of Water as an antidote to cynicism. What makes Del Toro such a master at fantasy is his ability to inject powerful human emotion into the most fanciful or grotesque storylines and set pieces. Del Toro's distinct style includes techniques like fairy tale narratives, dreamlike camera work, and a vibrant and characterized mise-en-scène, including rich color palettes and highly detailed costume and set design. Pan's Labyrinth is my personal favorite. It might even be his best film, even if it lost a lot more awards than The Shape of Water. It's a great example of Del Toro's fondness for folklore-like narratives, movie monsters, and anti-establishment morality tales. If you're as enthusiastic about Gothic romance as I am, I cannot recommend Crimson Peak enough. It's the perfect mix of high camp, flowy dresses, and well-meaning ghosts, making it the most visually stunning work in his filmography. It's important to note that beauty is never just skin deep in a Del Toro film. Every gorgeous frame and saturated color exists to propel the story forward. In this way, Del Toro has become one of the greatest visual storytellers in the industry today. After seeking out one of these gorgeous films and immersing yourself in one of Del Toro's artful fantasy-scapes, you can check out a recent interview with the director on our website, sneakpeektelevision.com. Del Toro sat down with several college outlets to talk about his awards darling, The Shape of Water, and the interview includes a lot more wisdom and background on the film than I could possibly fit into this segment. Don't forget to follow Sneak Peek TV on social media, where we'll be keeping up with Del Toro's race to the Oscars. Back to the hosts.
Thank you, Allison. With Netflix's increasing success, we now have for you a Cloverfield review by Dakota Reyes.
Hey guys, I'm here with the newest installment in the Cloverfield franchise, the Cloverfield Paradox. Scientists on the Cloverfield space station test a device to solve an energy crisis and unfortunately end up face to face with a dark alternate reality. Now, this film is kind of unprecedented in the way it was marketed. The film was announced around a year ago, constantly shuffling release dates. Then in early January, rumors surfaced that Paramount was actually going to sell the film to Netflix. Come Super Bowl Sunday, lo and behold, Netflix announced that we'd be able to watch the film as soon as the game ends. Unfortunately, they chose this strategy for one reason. This movie's not good. Compared to the original Cloverfield and 2016's 10 Cloverfield Lane, this movie is incredibly disappointing. There are endless plot holes and probably the most inconsistent and jarring tonal shifts I've seen in a long time. One moment a crew member is dangerously hurt and in desperate need of medical assistance, the next a sentient hand is somehow propelling the plot forward. It's a movie chock full of ideas and concepts, but it never really makes a decision about what kind of film it wants to be. Despite my ragging on it, I did enjoy watching it. The cast is great, though they really deserve better, and it was fun to watch. Trying to figure out where the plot was going and how it connected to the Cloverfield universe was fun. The premise had a ton of potential, but the film's identity crisis ultimately holds it back from being as good as it could have been. Overall, it was an enjoyable watch, especially for Netflix, and I would give it 3 out of 5 stars. Now, back to our hosts.
What did one volcano say to the other?
What?
I lava you. Get it?
Oh, no.
Lava.
Haha. Whether it is going on a date or enjoying dad jokes, tell us on social media at Sneak Peek TV what you have planned for Valentine's Day.
Have a great weekend and an awesome Valentine's Day.